Antioch, Domnus. They protest this. He thinks that he is spreading, that Eutyches is spreading this Apollinarianism, this rejected heresy. And they appeal to the emperor, Theodosius II, who we see there. There's a picture in the background of kind of the upper, as you're looking at it, upper right, of the land walls of Constantinople. Theodosius II built these in the early 400s, and they kept foreign invaders out for 1,000 years, except for two exceptions. One, the Fourth Crusade, and the other one was the Muslim Turks who took over the city. But his defenses lasted 1,000 years and really allowed the Christianity to take root and flower in Europe because of these walls that he built. So just a little aside there. Eutyches writes to Rome itself, kind of this, oh, please defend me, I'm being attacked. And he wants Rome to take action against this resurfacing Nestorianism as brought forward by Theodoret of Cyrus and Domnus. So this seeing anyone that has a different approach to the mystery of who is Christ as automatically suspect. The Patriarch of Constantinople at this time is named Flavian, and he will side against Eutyches and then pay a price for it. The first thing he does, that Flavian does, with the emperor's approval, is to have a local synod. So some of the bishops in the area gather, and they look at the case. And Eutyches, he knows what's going to happen to him. So he starts saying, oh, I can't come to the council, I can't come, I've got these monastic vows, I'm supposed to be cloistered. That didn't keep him, it didn't serve him he didn't pay too much attention to those before. But eventually he shows up when rumors start spreading that he's forming this conspiracy to take out the Patriarch himself, so he tries to go up and defend himself. The imperial commissioner, so one of the emperor's, what you might call it, prosecutors. Okay, a close ally of Dioscorus back in Alexandria. He presses Eutyches on these things, and questions Eutyches, insisting that he accept the formula, one person subsisting in two natures. Again, this is not acceptable to Dioscorus, because two natures, that's like saying two dogs in one. No, he won't accept that. And so there, it looks as if this Florentius is setting up a trap for the Archbishop of Constantinople to fall into. But Eutyches is deposed, and he's sent off, he's excommunicated, and he appeals to Rome and to these other places, Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Thessalonica, to hear his case. And he has not been given a fair trial. He wants to be heard in a larger forum. And so the Emperor Theodosius calls a second council to meet in Nicaea. This council, which was called by the emperor, and ultimately, we won't jump too far ahead. He wants to call an ecumenical council for Nicaea. And when Pope Leo gets writings from Eutyches and then from others attesting to what Eutyches actually believes, he finds Eutyches' theology to be complete nonsense, making no sense at all. And he writes a letter to Flavian, the Patriarch of Constantinople, basically going through, in a rather long letter, all the errors and the insanity of Eutyches' positions. It is not diplomatic language that he uses. It's how could someone be so ignorant? And do you not understand what you were doing? It's not diplomatic. No diplomatic ease here. But he sends this to be read at the council in Ephesus. And he sends some legates, so his representatives, to be there and represent him at the council. He is facing a new threat in Rome, and that is the barbarians we saw last time were taking over all of the Western Empire. And this period in the mid-400s witnesses perhaps the most fearful of them all. Attila the Hun, well, the friendly Attila the Hun is now in Italy. And so he doesn't feel too safe about leaving. So, and this is a picture painted by Raphael in the Vatican Museum of Pope Leo going out and meeting Attila the Hun, who apparently was very superstitious, and once he met him, turned around and didn't advance any closer on Rome. So, Pope Leo the Great saves the city of Rome from Attila the Hun in this. The council meets in the year 449 in Nicaea. And there's a picture of the. Excuse me. They meet in. It's not Nicaea. I misspoke. They meet in Ephesus. So the last one was in Ephesus. This is the second one in Ephesus. And they meet in August 8th, 449. There's 170 other bishops present. And just as Cyril, the Patriarch of Alexandria, was the president of the first council of Ephesus, the president for the next council in Ephesus, well, Dioscorus, the Patriarch of Alexandria, thinks it's his right. And the emperor points to him, and he takes over, and in what seems very quickly to be a well-orchestrated maneuver, he restores Eutyches, saying that there's nothing wrong with what he has been teaching. And he turns on Flavian, the Archbishop of the Patriarch of Constantinople, and Theodoret of Cyrus, and anyone else who seems to be slightly in that Antioch school, and starts having them deposed, arrested, and this is not a recipe for unity within the church. So Dioscorus denied all bishops associated with that synod in Constantinople. He would not let them vote on anything to begin with. He refused to let the papal legates read what Pope Leo had sent to be read there. He would not allow it to be read. And then he denounces Flavian, and this was kind of a surprise to everyone, and prohibits putting forward, this is all under the veil of that Flavian was putting forward a new creed that was not Nicaea and was therefore in violation of the Council of Ephesus, which doesn't allow any new ones to be composed, and therefore he's to be deposed. The papal legates protest that this is an outrage. This cannot be done. But Dioscorus has the imperial troops brought in so that everyone votes the right way. So this became known as the Robber Council, the council that has been robbed, or in Latin, the Latrocinium. The Latrocinium, and one of the, among the Orthodox, one of the views for something to be an ecumenical council is that it has to be called by an emperor, and the edicts to be to be received in well, Emperor Theodosius II says, okay, that's the decision, that's the way it is, and so this becomes law in the East, and a new fury, new problem. What do we do with this? One of the papal legates, Hilary, who would later become pope, and if you've ever been to Rome and gone to the Lateran Basilica, he builds it gets the name St. John Lateran because this Deacon Hilary has escaped from Ephesus, where John the Apostle has been, and so before it was known as the Basilica in the Lateran, but now it has his name St. John because he's thanking St. John for his escape. A little aside there. He's not the only one that goes. Flavian, the Patriarch of Constantinople, pleads for Peter to intercede, to do something about this. Theodoret of Cyrus, that kind of the